Hey everybody, and welcome to day 14. Uh, yeah, I have the same thing I had on yesterday. It's actually being filmed the same day. It was very emotional, and yesterday was very emotional, and I figured I would also record today on the same day because they kind of tie into each other a little bit. So, you can see my nose is here still stuffy. So on this day, I wanted to talk about something that kind of gives an explanation about myself to some people uh, that may have questioned. No, maybe not. So it's no secret that I love makeup, right? I mean, I wear tons of makeup. Well, I don't know if it's tons. I wear a lot of eye makeup because of my eye color and the enhancement of my eyes or whatever. I love it. You know, it's just a part of me that I thank my grandmother for. I'm the only one in the family that has these gray eyes. Everyone else in the family has brown eyes. So, but like normal, people sometimes have stuff to say about people that wear makeup. So I figure I would tell my own personal story as to why I wear makeup. And as you can see from yesterday's video, I wear some damn good makeup because even after all that crying, that mascara did not run at all. it didn't it didn't budge. So I wanted to just explain myself a little bit when it comes down to makeup, and maybe it would just give people a different perspective of why I wear makeup. I have been diligently working on a new makeup line called After Cosmetics, and the cosmetic line is called After All You've Been Through, Don't You Deserve to Be Beautiful? There's a significance to After Cosmetics. There's quite a few cosmetic lines in this country, but very few have a message of what they can do for a woman. So, like I've said, I've often said in the video I did the other day about my haters or whatever, I say people will hate on you when it's something they can't do instead of support you. Makeup was my salvation. People didn't know that I was in a pretty abusive marriage. And being in an abusive marriage, it it was more emotionally abusive than it was physical. There was a couple times when things got physical, but there was not. It was more pushing and stuff like that. There was no, like, I didn't get a black eye or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. But those that have been in abusive situations are fully aware that emotional abuse can hurt just as bad as someone punching you, and sometimes people would rather be punched than get emotionally abused. I was on a daily basis being called everything from a fat, sick pig to I was a woman that no man would ever want. It just was, and this was all, especially when I was going through the chemotherapy. So my only means of escape was to pick up a makeup palette. And I remember sitting with a little iPad and or my phone or whatever and watching. It was a time thing. It took up time for me. So I was able to learn about makeup, and what I started to see I liked, because it took me and it removed me from here. It made me something over there, and it made me feel beautiful. But then when I would remove it and then I would go back, it was reminding me of the abuse and everything that I was in. Makeup was great for me. Makeup was fun for me. Makeup was an escape for me. So I keep tying in this what if theory, like, What if I remained made up? Would it have been my strength necessary to end it quicker than what I went through? Because no woman should go through any type of abuse. No man either, for that matter. But I stayed in this relationship, and it was weird because if you're a person that has been mentally abused and you get mentally abused enough, you start believing that which someone's telling you. So makeup was an escape for me. So it saddens me sometimes when I see people, will post memes about people's makeup making them look like a clown or something like that. You don't know what's behind what people do and why they wear makeup. Makeup has been people's salvation. Makeup has given women back their womanhood. Makeup makes some women feel empowered and beautiful. So for us to hate on them and make it seem as if, once again, they're trying to be something they're not. What if that is them? What if it is just them? There are some women that do some amazing artistry on women that have been burn victims and gone through chemotherapy and then been through traumatic situations, acid thrown on their face or scars on their face, and all they want is just a little moment of feeling, to them, looking back at the reflection and looking at them and feeling beautiful. That's what it was for me. I was able to make this artistry of my eyes and just making myself gain back some of that womanhood from a man that kept telling me I was ugly and I was a fat pig that no man would ever want. So you gotta understand people's stories sometimes before you judge them because you think that they're doing something to try to be like someone else. That's not the case for everybody. I know the significance of makeup and I know what it can do for people. Yeah, I mean, some people have done some crazy stuff with makeup and different things like that. But there's a huge percentage of women that just wear it just because. And I'm one of those women that I just love it. I'm not trying to be like anything. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to wear all that. You're right. I don't, but I want to. It's what I choose to do. I get tons of people that ask me about my makeup. How did I do it? With different. I love it. Because I love that people can see something that they cannot do and just want to know how they can do it. That's the amazingness of being a person that is humble and just say, you know what, I'm not going to hate on this person. I'm just going to simply ask. And what people don't know is that there was times when I was in my bedroom and I'm playing with these 2-3 blunt brushes I have, and a man is standing right behind me telling me, I don't know what you're doing that for. Ain't nobody, just ain't. But it was almost as if each one of those brushes was his mute. Because at the time, when I was doing the makeup, I didn't hear him. I just saw what I was doing. So that's why I say, makeup holds a significance to me. It might not hold a significance to you, but it holds something special to me. So this is why I want to do this makeup line. Because a certain percentage of those proceeds are actually already going to be going to a woman's nonprofit that I'm in working with for abused women. Like everything takes time to build and so forth, and it costs money. But knowing that I can make a difference by bringing people something, even if it's a lipstick, even if it's a little goldness on their cheeks, something that they can look at and say, wow, I really like that. So we can't go through this process and just because somebody chooses to quote unquote beat their face, we can't look at them and say, oh, they're trying to be like someone else. You got to know their story first before you pass judgment on them. I hold this palette. Some people may know what this is and may not. This is something that I hold dear to my heart because it was given to me by my daughter. My daughter saved up her little money, and she wanted to make sure on Mother's Day I had makeup because she knew what it was doing for me, and she knew I was being abused. I'm gonna tell you something. When my ex-husband was removed from my home, and while I'm in court, he was emptying the house, he took this. And out of everything he took, this destroyed me the most. And I spent hours trying to figure out how can I get this back because of what it meant to me. And obviously I figured out a way because I got it back. But I'm just saying this to people, men and women out there, that you men sometimes will say things about women wearing makeup and different things like that. Understand a woman's story before you pass judgment on her and just assume that the reason she's doing what she's doing to herself is because she's trying to be like somebody else. When all along, a lot of times, it's just a woman being herself. So what if in 2019, before we send a meme or something like that, how about you get the person's story? And how about you start looking in your own mirror? Maybe some changes you need to make to yourself might make you feel better about yourself instead of you hating on other people because they're doing something that makes them feel good. I genuinely love makeup. I love it for what it does for women. I love it for what it did for me. And I love it for what it's going to allow me to do in the next couple years. I'm going to be able, just from the makeup that I'm going to be selling, even starting off with the lip glosses, I'm going to be able to change some women's lives. So what if in 2019 you start getting people's full stories before you pass judgment? And what if in 2019 you started to look at me a little different and understand I'm not trying to be like nobody but myself. Beat face and all. I genuinely love makeup. And I always will. All right, everybody. Have a great one.